we have a title of a lesson today that came down from the elders called Sodom Revisited. All right. Now, does this mean we're going to go visit Sodom again? Right. But we're going to see what we can learn about Sodom previously and what that kind of signals to us today, given the fact that this land will be judged, right? Also known as spiritual Sodom and Egypt, right? So we're going to begin in the book of Genesis, chapter 18, and we're going to open up with the edification.
Sodom Revisited. And the commentary reads, there are many nowadays who are in denial of the inevitable judgment of America. Oftentimes, these same individuals, even if they were in the truth, go back into the world and forget about the wickedness of this Babylonian society.
Mm-hmm. Right. Sodom was very, infectious, if I can think of a word, to its populace, right? People, they were having good times. They had liberty there to do whatever they wanted to do, right? And people wanted to be there, right? Let's keep going.
Let's take a few moments and examine the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, which is well known for its sin and destruction, and look at it in a comparison to our present day America.
All right, so keep that in mind. We want to focus on that comparison between today, modern day America, and ancient Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And you should be aware that the remains of Sodom and Gomorrah are still there, right? Burnt with fervent heat, right? I remember seeing video, you can just crack off what used to be buildings and structures like a piece of clay, right? So let's begin our reading in the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 16.
First scriptural reference, the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 16. And it reads, and the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which hath spoken of him.
Go ahead.
Verse 20. And the Lord said, because of the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me. And if not, I will know.
So even though, right, to them, at Sodom, the residents of Sodom, they thought that the Most High was not aware of the sins that they were committing, right? The Most High is aware of everything. He has angels who have eyes that are 10,000 times brighter than the sun that can observe everything, right? So let's keep going.
Verse 22, and the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom, but Abraham stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure, perhaps, there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein?
Abraham is not thinking that the entire city is unrighteous. He's thinking, and like many of us probably do think, like there's somebody righteous in there. It has to be, right? Abraham has that same compassion. I don't even want to call it compassion, but hope, right? That there's someone righteous in this city, right? So let's keep going.
Wow. Verse 25. That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that righteous should be as the wicked, that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes.
Now the Most High knows, this is Christ speaking actually, he knows that there's no one there righteous, right? So he's just like, listen, if you find 50 people, I got you, all right? I'll spare the whole place just for you, just because you asked, right?
Right.
Sort of like a rhetorical question, right? Let's keep going.
And Abraham answered and said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure, there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all of the city for lack of 5? And he said, If I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it.
Now you got to say, Abraham is a pretty good negotiator, right?
Yeah.
He started at 50. Now he's down to 45 because he's probably thinking in his heart like, wait a minute, I think he probably knows better than me. Let me see if I could at least save a few people, right? Who knows? Abraham might have known some people there that he thought was okay, right? Maybe not on his level, but, he was friendly with them. Abraham was famous for his hospitality, right? So he would always have strangers and such stay and be housed in his tent and things of that nature, right? Let's keep going.
Verse 29. And he spake unto him yet again and said, Peradventure, there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake.
All right. So now we down to 40, right? Keep going.
Numbers dwindling. And he said unto him, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure, there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. Verse 31. And he said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Peradventure, there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake.
So I like Abraham. He's talking him down, right? He probably think he has, some wisdom, right? All right. For some reason, he's hopeful, right? He's hopeful, right? And we're all here because of Abraham. Let's not get that misconstrued, right? If it wasn't for his righteousness, there would be no Israel, right? If you ask me, everything went off once the tribes got into play. You know what I mean? That's when everything went left. Let's keep going.
I just find this funny real quick because it's kind of like the most, not that he was lacking in faith, but it's almost like he was just doing this to build Abraham's faith because he's like, you going to do this to these people? He like, all right, Abraham. Because if he like, yeah, I'm going to destroy him, that might hurt him a little bit.
Right.
So he like, all right, I'm going to play your game. Let's see if you can find any of these numbers of people, which he's not going to be able to. But I'm just saying, I think it was just so that he wouldn't like dampen his spirit.
So it helps Abraham understand the judgment when he realized he has to just take the whole place out. Right.
Verse 32. And he said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure, 10 shall be found there. So we're all the way down to 10. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And the Lord went his way as soon as he had left communing with Abram, and Abram returned to his place.
All right. Let's read the commentary.
Commentary reads, Christ decided to tell Abraham of the instructions to be sent on the wicked of Sodom. There weren't even 10 righteous within these cities to save them.
Not even 10. Right? So just think about when Jacob's trouble is in full swing, there's going to be a 10th left in every city. Just a 10th. A 10th is a tithe, right? In this case, you couldn't even find 10 people who were righteous, right? And this really is humbling because our righteousness is as filthy rags.
Absolutely.
Right? If the Most High wanted to destroy this whole earth right now, if it is not for Christ rendering his righteousness unto us to be saved, this is what grace is, right? No one would make it, right? And this is why we have to appreciate Christ even more, right? Let's read the commentary, then we're going to turn to the book of Amos chapter 3.
Just like today, there are few who will follow the Father and this message of the judgment to come on America, and to flee will only be received by a few. Now,
do you think America is going to get a warning, right? When it's time to take this place down? The Most High, he seems to warn places first. right? But when that warning comes, right, what are we going to do? We're going to say, what about my cousin or my auntie, right? Or my child or this and that, right? At that point, ain't no turning back, right? Let's go to Amos chapter 3. We're going to read verses 6 and 7, and then turn to the book of Ezekiel chapter 16.
This is the book of Amos chapter 3, verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it?
So when that judgment is come, right, we will have no doubt. There will be no mistake or mistaking that it was of the Lord, right? Let's keep going.
Verse 7, surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
Right. There are several secrets, right, that he reserves and gives to his prophets to understand the time. Those who are seeking the Most High's face will understand and be able to discern the times, right, and getting themselves prepared, right? Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 16. We're going to start at verse 48 through 50.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verse 48. As I live, saith the Lord power, Sodom thy sister have not done, she nor her daughters, as thou hast done, thou and thy daughters. Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom, pride.
So we know pride was a major issue in Sodom, right? Babylon certainly has pride, right? They even made it a month, right? Pride month, right? Let's keep going.
Fullness of bread.
They're full, right? Gluttony, greediness, right? Continue.
And abundance of idleness was in her. So they were idle.
Go ahead.
And in her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy.
So when you go into the history of Sodom and Gomorrah, there was abuse of the poor and the needy, right? And it was from the government on down. They abused the poor, right? Keep going.
Verse 50. And they were haughty and committed abomination before me. Therefore I took them away as I saw good.
They were haughty, right? They thought that they could do no wrong. There was nothing better than them, right? And they committed abomination after abomination. And then the Most High just took them away, because he saw that it was a good thing. It was a just thing to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. And we think about the traditions here in this country. We just celebrated, or the country just celebrated the 4th of July, right? You have all the fireworks and all that type of stuff. And I remember hearing about this a long time ago. They came up with that to antagonize the Most High, right? Pagan holiday, you showing off all these sparks and explosions, right? And the Most High is looking down, looking at this nonsense like, you know what? They trying me right now, right? But the Most High will judge this place in due time, right? Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, starting at verse 1.
So this is the Wisdom of Solomon, your Apocrypha, in chapter 2, starting at verse 1. For the ungodly said, reason them with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave.
Right. So now this is the mind of the wicked that is saying this, right? No man has returned from the grave, right? Go ahead.
For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the morning of the heart.
This is the mindset.
Of the heart.
This is the mindset or the ideology of this country, right? And it's a ungodly thing, as Wisdom of Solomon is showing us. Life is short and tedious, right? So what do? You peradventure, you go after the thing that you lust after. You live a joyous life based on satisfying your own flesh and not discerning the Lord, right? Let's jump to verse 10.
Verse 10, let us oppress the poor righteous man.
Right? So part of Sodom and part of America, as you can see, is oppression, right? Especially the poor righteous man, right? Continue.
Let us not spare the widow,
Uh-huh.
nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age.
Right? No concern for the gray hairs, right? No reverence for them. And they do not spare the widows. I believe they're even putting the law, like those who, they don't, in order to extend people's life, like hospice and things of that nature, right? Just, get them out the way faster and sooner, right? What do they call that?
Euthanasia.
Euthanasia, right. No concern, right? Let's keep going.
Let our strength be the law of justice.
So they do this with the hand of the law, right? These things are codified in ordinances for us to follow, right? And it's law, right? Let's keep going.
For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. There you go.
Yep.
Older people.
Older people, go ahead.
Verse 12. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not of our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law.
The law meaning the law of the Most High, right? Continue.
And objective to our infamy and the transgressions of our education.
So they can't stand the poor righteous man who is living by the faith of the Most High. Right? Now, when you think about when Jacob's trouble kicks in, the just shall live by faith. People are not going to understand why you're willing to walk away from everything to be able to follow the Most High. And we seeing now, like, over the next, some odd years, this society is going to change drastically. Right? And we're going to be talking about these things in Bible study lessons and after Sabbath discussions and things of that nature. But there was one thing that I was looking at in terms of augmentation of humans, right? It's trending to a point where for you to be able to get that job, that highly skilled paid job, right, you're going to have to compete with people who have been augmented. And how are you going to do so? Right? This person only needs an hour of sleep, right? Because they got an AI bed, right? Powered. They got a neural chip in their mind, right? They don't get tired, and you have to compete with them, right? So it's trending in that direction, right?
Just one thought on that real quick. I don't remember where I saw it. I don't know if it was on the chat or something, but it comes to mind where they was talking about revolutionizing the penal system. So where people would have an experience like in a week as if they was in jail for 10 years. So it was like a tweaking of the brain to where like their perception of that particular time, the duration of that day or week was 10 years of hardship in their mind. So the thought behind it was to have recidivism reduce, but that they'll be rehabilitated at a faster rate. So they'll get the effects of 10 years in like 10 days.
Lord have mercy.
And then the person hypothetically comes out rehabilitated.
And that probably leads to thought crimes and all sorts of things.
It was a mess.
Wow.
It was a video out, so it was quick, but it was a mess.
They're not even trying to rehabilitate anybody in prison, though.
No.
More so break somebody, right?
It's breaking you. It's changing what you were. When you went in there, most people are different when they come out. They're not better unless they want to be better. But for the most part, it's gang activity, drugs, murders.
Jail is like the streets. There's no difference of being on 21st Street or being inside of a penitentiary. It's no difference.
We're headed in that direction. And the thing is, it's not necessarily the trends, right? Trends are short term. It's where society is converging at. Man is going to meet machine. We're headed there, right? Let's read the edification, then we'll go back to Genesis chapter 19.
Commentary reads, so wisdom of Solomon let us know they would use the law to oppress the poor and righteous. In captivity, we don't make the rules. Those that took us down do, and they intend to keep us at the bottom. They are offended how we don't look to follow them in their unclean actions.
Right? They like, listen, we got these people in ghettos, we got liquor stores, drugs are in their community, and they're still, they learn to adapt, right? Listen, if it was not for the Most High, none of us would be here, right? It's only by his power that we've been able to survive. We are anomalies to them, I'm quite sure, right? And even in captivity, right? So let's go to the book of Genesis chapter 19.
Next precept we're going to reference is the book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 1. And there came two angels to Sodom at evening, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with them with his face toward the ground. And he said, behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. They said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did break unleavened bread, and they did eat.
Right, you see the hospitality? Right, hospitality was a sign of righteousness, right? The more hospitable you were, right? Let's continue.
But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
And when you go into like the historical works of Josephus, it goes into the men of Sodom would basically, abuse young boys, right? Like that was their culture, right? Let's keep going.
Okay. Verse 6. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have two daughters, which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes.
Lord have mercy.
Only unto these men do nothing. For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door.
So these men were clearly mad, right? They didn't want anything to do with the young girls or virgins, right? They wanted the men, right? And if you look at our society today, Lord have mercy, right? We know this activity is rampant. We got new pronouns, and, people are it's now and them and theys and all types of stuff. It's insane, right? Let's keep going.
Wow. Verse 10. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door.
And this makes me think when we went, and no offense to what's the name of that city we went to? Montclair.
Bingo.
Went to Montclair, not realizing that they were going to be celebrating Pride Month the way they do. They basically ran us out of the city.
Yeah, they wasn't trying to hear
right?
what we had to say.
Called the police on us and everything. And we were being nice. We didn't even have a microphone, did we? We were just going around handing out flyers, right?
Yikes.
We were offending people and all types of stuff. It was insane, right? But no problem. We wiped the dust off our feet. Never went back. Never went back to Montclair again. Right? So, hey, if you want to spread the gospel there, good luck. Go ahead. But the men of the Lord have left and will not return, right? Let's keep going.
Bishop,
Yes, sir.
to your point, there was this week I saw a story of some Christian guys preaching at an LGBT rally, and the cop came in and threatened to give them a ticket for they were trying to spread the gospel, and they shut it down. And they're like, "This is First Amendment." And she's like, "Well, I'm gonna write you a ticket." So they really get on code when it comes to the LGBT.
Oh yeah. They gotta oppress the poor righteous man. Right. We even had a cop come to us with a flyer in our hand. He was like, "You handed this out?" We was like, "Yeah."
Like it was the evidence. It was like a murder weapon. So when you bring it up, like, bro,
it's like, man. But hey, this is why when we practice things such as like house-to-house ministry, it's really preparing us for that time when we can't be so out in the open. We have to go into towns and see who is worthy. Do exactly what Christ said, right? Don't salome nobody on the way. Keep to yourself. Find who is worthy. Give them the gospel. Keep it moving, right? Because the gospel has to go out to the four corners of the earth, right? Let's keep going.
And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-laws, and take him serious. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy two daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city.
Right, so the plan was set. The decree has been made, right? Get your daughters, get out of there, right? Continue.
Verse 16, and while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his two daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed.
Lest thou be consumed. Right? So how important is it to follow the exact detail that the Most High commands you? Right? Is there any room for you to be like, well, I'm going to do my own thing? There's no room for that. He said here clearly, look not behind you, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. Right? Now this directly came from the Most High, right? But the same obedience is expected with all the scriptures, every precept. Right? We can't just pick and choose what we want to follow when it comes to following the Most High, right? So let's go to, we're going to look in the works of Josephus, Antiquity of the Jews, Book 1, Chapter 11.
And that reads, about this time, the Sodomites grew proud.
Right? So there's that pride, right? On
account of their riches and great wealth.
So that's another sign that the country, the city in this case, very proud, great riches, right? Go ahead.
They became unjust toward men, right, and impious towards God.
So unjust towards men and pious towards the Most High, right? And I think the crimes of this country are well documented, right? Right, with no care of the Most High or his children, right? Let's keep going.
Insomuch that they did not call to mind the advantages they received from him.
So they were still initially given advantages and blessings from the Most High, as this place was, right? Until this place revealed who this God was the whole time, which was Satan, right? Let's keep going.
They hated strangers.
Go ahead.
And abused themselves, with sodomitical practice.
That's a new word.
That's
sodomitical.
Sodomitical.
If you want to say that, yeah. Right? So this we're seeing the sins of Sodom, right? They were proud. They had great wealth, right? Not that wealth is a sin, but that made them more proud, right? They hated strangers. They had no hospitality. We saw what they wanted to do with the angels, right? And they abused themselves with sodomitical practices, right? And I think that's a new word for me, right? Sodomitical. All right, go ahead.
Okay. The Most High was therefore much displeased at them and determined to punish them for their pride and to overthrow their city and to lay waste their country until there should neither plant nor fruit grow out of it.
So when you look at the judgment of Babylon, it will never be inhabited again. And it has to be destroyed in such a way that there's no mistaking that it was the Lord that was behind it, right? So when this place is overthrown, there will be no going back. There's no reason to look back, right? We look towards Zion when this place, and actually Jeremiah, it even tells you to do that, right? Turn your face towards Zion because that's where you're looking to get back to, right?
We have a definition.
Yes.
Sodomitical practices.
Did I pronounce it right?
I don't know. It's close enough. Refer to sodomy, an archaic and legal term describing specific non-reproductive sexual behaviors. Primarily, oh no, we're going to stop there.
Okay. You got virgin ears here, right? Protect the congregation, all right?
That's why they're going too far.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Let's read the commentary.
Commentary reads, another key point when then fall off an empire is inevitable is when homosexuality is overrunning the society. These men demanded to have relations with the angels even when they were blinded. Wow. It's commitment.
Lord have mercy.
Violence is also a trait of their unstable lifestyle.
Right. So the society would also be rampant with crime, right? Continue.
Pedophilia was also big in Rome right before it fell.
Right. So now we see. So once in the Most High, it tells you in the book of Revelations that the sins of Babylon will come into remembrance. He's gonna be like, oh yeah, Babylon, where they going crazy down there, right? All right, now let's send them, right? The 7 vials or the 7 plagues are specifically for Babylon, right? So it's just going to, when you read those plagues, you'll see the Most High is not playing around, right? So let's go back to Genesis chapter 19, and then we're going to go to Luke chapter 9.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 19, starting at verse 24. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground. Verse 26. But his wife looked back from behind him and she became a pillar of salt.
And she can still be seen today. Right, in that land, a pillar of salt, right? So if we just had the opposite of what she had, right, or done exactly what the Most High have said and apply that to all his precepts, right? When your brother or sister, you have an issue with them, you go to your brother and sister alone. How often do we have to teach about that, right? How often is that not even practiced? Right? So you have to look at it like, if you don't do it, you might be a pillar of salt. Right? You might be considered transgressing Christ's commandment, right? But instead of going to that person, now you're going to someone else and trying to turn them to your side, right? We have to be obedient, right? Let's read the edification and let's go to the book of Luke chapter 9, verse 59.
Commentary reads, it tells you in the book of Joshua that Lot's wife had other family in the city. She looked back against the instructions of the father. She was turned into a pillar of salt.
So she had family back in the city. Maybe she was thinking, you know what? I wonder what happened to them. Right? And listen, you might say to yourself, hey, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, okay.
Everything is wrong with it because it was disobedient to the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
What was the brother name? Was it Uriah? Uriel in the Old Testament, where he touched the Ark of the Covenant and died because someone was losing his grip and it was falling. And he went and tried to save it and touched it and he died. Now you would think what he did was a noble thing. He was trying to keep the ark from falling, but he was not a Levite. He didn't have permission to touch it. So what this tells us is that despite what your heart may think, right, the law is the law. You have to follow the Most High's commandments as it is written, right? And be very careful with saying stuff like, I'm going to use grace. Break this law real quick. Mm-hmm. Right? You're very, very careful with that, right? Let's go to Luke chapter 9, verse 59.
This is the book of Luke chapter 9, verse 59. And she said unto another, follow me. Mm-hmm. But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go to bury my father.
Suffer me first. Allow me to go bury my father. Right? Go ahead.
And Yeshua said unto him, let the dead bury their dead. But go thou and preach the kingdom of the Most High.
Now, if I said this to someone today, right, we had a pressing need, or maybe we was becoming pilgrims in the earth, and I said that to somebody, I'm offending somebody. They're offended. How dare you say that? Well, Christ said it, right? And I understood and I understand why he said it, right? Listen, it's not about your family or anyone else at this moment, right? It's about the Lord. That's it, right? Let the dead bury the dead, right? But go thou and preach the kingdom of the Most High. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, right? That's what we all should be doing, right? Let's keep going.
Verse 61, and another also said, Lord, I will follow thee, but let me first go bid them farewell, which are at home at my house.
Right, let me go tell my family goodbye, right? Let me go kiss my children. Let me go feed the cat, right? Let me just go do something. Let me pick up my last paycheck from work. I might need that, right? When it's time to serve the Most High, that must take precedence. Bottom line, right? Let's keep going.
And another said, and Yeshua said unto him,
yes,
no man, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of the Most High.
So we know that Lot's wife didn't make it, right? She looked back, unfit for the kingdom, right? We have to apply this same diligence to everything that is written, every lesson that we learn, every Bible study. We should be applying these things to our life, right? We should not be struggling with the same things we were last year or 5 years ago, whatever the case may be. We should be able to see the change and that light being turned up in you the longer you're here amongst the body, right? Let's read the edification, then go to the book of Luke chapter 17.
Once the Father gives you your mission, there is no looking back, even for family.
Even for family, right? Even for family, right? And that's the thing. You can sit here and tell me. I've heard people say, hey, my son is here. He's learning the scriptures. I'm going to be here for him. No, that's not good enough. Can't be. You got to be here for Christ and Christ alone. That will make you unmovable in this word. You'll be able to survive the heresies and all that's to come if you are here for Christ, right? Let's keep going.
We must all choose what side of the fence we're going to be, just like those, even a family, who choose not to follow.
Right. And sometimes we take it upon ourselves to wake up family. You can't do that. You can plant a seed here and there, but more likely, you're just causing more division amongst your family, right? Be at peace with all men. They're not going to be able to handle the whole truth as you know it and received it right? Because maybe they weren't called. Maybe they weren't called yet, right? But instead of driving people away, be at peace with them, right? Let's jump to Luke 17.
Come. This is the book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 28. Likewise, also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat.
They eat.
They drank. They bought. They sold. They planted. And they builded.
They were living the dream, right? The Sodom dream. Can you imagine? The Sodom and Gomorrah dream, right? Come over here and live the dream with us.
Well, that sounds similar to today, right?
Exactly.
The great American dream, they say.
The great American dream, right? Go ahead.
But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all.
I think when they tested, I remember reading, they tested the sulfur or whatever in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. It was like 4,000 degrees or something crazy that must have burnt that place. Yeah.
It was a new.
Yeah, it was like a nuclear bomb went off.
But they also said that it was like 99% pure sulfur. It was like it's impossible for man to replicate that, to come across that high quality of sulfur. Like it only could come from God. Right? We can't replicate that.
He got that pure stuff, right?
Yeah. It's uncut. Yeah.
But uncut pure. Just burnt you to a crisp.
Right.
Lord have mercy. Let's keep going.
Wow. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. And that day, he which shall be upon the housetop and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back.
And do not turn back. If you've been spared, right, to be able to escape the judgment of a city, it ain't about nothing that you left back. It ain't about, oh man, my phone is right on the dresser, right? None of that. You make your way out of there, right? Knowing that this is from the Lord, right? Continue.
Verse 33. Whosoever shall
read 32 again.
Remember Lot's wife.
Remember Lot's wife, right? So Christ is reiterating this for us all. Do not look back, right? Continue.
Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it. And whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it.
And this is why, I don't, I feel more comfortable teaching that we all have to die for Christ, right? Because that could be the will of the Father for you. It might not be the wilderness. It might not be escaping Babylon. It might be, being martyred for Christ, right? We know in the book of Revelation chapter 11 that the dead bodies will lay in the street for 3.5 days and then be called up to heaven, to the third heaven, right? Those are those who didn't make it out, right? So what Christ is saying here is very key. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it. And this is why, yes, you have to prepare, but your go bag will never be as good to escape the judgment of Christ if it's meant for you. If it's meant for you, there's no escaping it. Right? So be prepared, have those things, have rations, so on and so forth to take care of yourself, right? Or those who, who are amongst you. But at the end of the day, you have to have a mindset of you have to be ready to die for Christ at any moment. At any moment, right? Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 6.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon in your Apocrypha, starting at chapter 10 and verse 6.
And remember, a servant is not above his master. So if Christ had to die an horrific death to be resurrected, if that is your fate, if that is our fate, all praises to the Most High. We glory. That's to his glory, right? our persecution for the Lord's sake, right? Wisdom of Solomon chapter 10 verse 6.
When the ungodly perishes, is that she?
Yep.
She delivered the righteous man.
Wisdom, right?
Who fled from the fire which fell down upon the 5 cities.
And this is why when you're called to a body of Christ, right, to be baptized and to follow, right, to gather, right, the challenge that we have, if you leave that hedge, right, as we can see what's written for prophetically and historically for the 7 churches in the book of Revelation, you leave that hedge, how are you going to be guided? Right? The angels are over the churches. The Holy Spirit is dealing with those within that have answered the call and have done as Christ commanded. Get baptized. Keep the body of Christ together. Fulfill the mission of the body of Christ together. But if you leave that in that time of peril, there's no guidance. Right? Let's keep going.
Of whose wickedness, even to this day, the wasteland that smoketh is a testimony, and plants bearing fruit that never come to ripeness.
Not even a blade of grass can grow in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. It's over. Right? Now you think when Christ come back and flame the whole earth, like Sodom and Gomorrah, I wonder.
Just skip that part.
Yeah, you can just skip that part. Or this, I don't know, does he replenish it in the 1,000-year reign and restore it back?
Okay.
Hey, we got to be there to find out, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's endure. Let's keep going.
And a standing pillar of salt is a monument of a unbelieving soul. I have this book. It's called Exodus, Myth or Fiction, and it has the visuals of modern day Sodom and Gomorrah and that pillar of salt, and just how crispy fried the land is. Like great book recommendation. Verse 8: For regarding not wisdom, they gate not only this hurt, that they knew not the things which were good, but also left behind them to the world a memorial of their foolishness.
Right, a memorial. Remember this place and what I did for, and that's why it was so important to, keep us from going into these lands and seeing the holy areas where our people dwelled, right? Because it will bring in remembrance, like the Most High is real, right? He is a real power, right? Let's keep going.
Verse 8, for regarding not wisdom, verse 9, but wisdom delivered from pain those that attended upon her.
Right. Wisdom delivered from pain those that attended upon her, right? Those who sought wisdom. Right? So when you go into 2 Ezra chapter 16, reading towards the end of the chapter, he's going to guide those that keep my commandments. Right? That keep my commandments. Let's read the edification, then let's stay in the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Let's go to chapter 19.
The commentary reads, the Holy Spirit will speak to you and give you a message from the Father through his word in order to flee the destruction to come. Remember Lot's wife.
Remember Lot's wife. So if you are locked in to the Most High in Christ, right, you're serving, right, when that day of the Lord comes, we will know. We will know. When 2 years prior to, or was it a year prior to 70 AD, it might have been 2 years, that the Most High gave Israel a warning, put a sword in the sky for Israel to see, like that day is coming, right? There's the sign, get out, right? Now, of course, there was Israel there that didn't leave. They remained there and they were destroyed, right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19, verse 13.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19, verse 13. And the punishments came upon the sinners, not without former signs by the force of thunders. For they suffered justly according to their own wickedness, insomuch as they used a more hard and hateful behavior toward strangers.
So there we see hate towards strangers, right? How do you treat strangers, right? Did you ever consider that the Most High, and he even said, be careful, you may entertain strangers or angels unawares. So if you're prone to disrespecting people who you don't know, well, careful. Angel could be like, yep, got him, Lord. Yeah, you saw how he treated me? Right? We have to learn that we have to step up our etiquette game, you know? Brothers and sisters alike, I have to say. Just as a community expanding outside of the church, of course. But just, you open the door for a sister. There's no thank you. Right?
I just can't believe the level of rudeness now. You do
it's
thank you
unbelievable
for holding the door.
You don't get it. Right, I guess
not that I want it, but like I ain't have to hold this door for you.
Right. That's just a small example, right? But it's just the viciousness of our society, men and women alike. It's increasing, right? Just as Sodom had done, right? Let's continue.
For the Sodomites did not receive those whom they knew not when they came, but those brought friends into bondage that had well deserved of them. And not only so, but peradventure some respect shall be had of those, because they use strangers not friendly.
Not friendly to strangers, right? Who would have thought? There's even a judgment in the Apocalypse of Paul that if you don't say hi to somebody, right, there's a judgment in hell for that. Right? We got to think about these things, people. Right? We did a whole lesson on etiquette for us to consider these things and to approve our etiquette amongst each other, of course, the household of faith, but also outside, right? Let's keep going.
Verse 16, but these very grievously affected them, whom they have received with feasting, and were already made partakers of the same laws with them. Therefore, even with blindness were they stricken, as those were at the doors of the righteous man, when, being compassed about with horrible great darkness, everyone sought the passage of his own doors.
They were like animals, right? Trying to break down a door to get at another man. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Go ahead.
Verse 18, for the elements were changed in themselves by a kind of harmony like as in a psaltery notes change the name of the tune, and yet are always sounds, which may well be perceived by the sight of the things that have been done. For earthly things were turned into watery, and the things that before swam in the water now went upon the ground. The fire had power in the water, forgetting its own virtue, and the water forgot his own quenching nature.
Wow. So the fire forgot, like, listen, I ain't got to worry about no water. I'm burning everything up in there, right? The water was like, listen, I don't mind the fire. You can do what you got to do, right? Let that fire come down. So there was no escaping what happened, right? And people look at the Medes and how we're pounding the Medes right now. People think, oh man, they weak. They ain't got nothing for us. It is written that the Medes will destroy this place. That's prophecy, right? So how the Most High empowers them to do it, we will see. But it's definitely going to happen. They picking on the wrong people right now. Let's go to the book of Revelations, chapter 14.
Book of Revelations.
Revelations chapter 14, and we're going to start at verse 6.
Should be quick to find, quick to flip to.
Yes, right yes.
One flip.
Do not tell me you don't know how to find the book of Revelations. We're going to have to re-educate you away from the saints, right?
Right. One-on-one.
One-on-one.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 14, starting at verse 6. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people.
So John is seeing an angel in heaven, right? Flying in the midst of heaven. And that angel possessed, right, the gospel to preach unto everybody in the earth, right? Continue.
Saying with a loud voice, fear the Most High, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come.
So wait a minute. Now judgment is about to happen. Where? On Babylon, right? So could this be the sign, right, that an angel, you're going to hear the gospel from the heaven? I mean, I don't know how, John is seeing the vision, how this is actually manifested. Is it exactly how it is written? Is it some other way? But nonetheless, a warning will be given. The gospel came first, right? Now, the hour of his judgment is here, right? Go ahead.
In their time in 70 AD, you saw a sword in the sky, right?
Yes,
some people might just think it's like a coincidence.
Right.
They might not pay much attention to it. But see, if this is the sign here, we all should pass this test. Right. It says it's going to be a loud voice from the sky saying, fear God. If you miss that sign,
but maybe
it's just not meant for you.
Maybe
I hope that is the sign.
What if only the elect hears it?
That's now another scenario.
Right?
But this is like what I'm saying is this you could if it's for you, right, you'll be able to figure this one out.
Right. Remember, it could sound like, let's say if it sounded like thunder to someone else, but you heard fear the Most High, get out of there, my people. Pew, right?
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking just like with Christ, he taught the parables, everybody heard it, but they didn't understand what they were hearing. So even if the Most High says that fear me, they're gonna just be like, what does that mean? Be scared?
Right.
They're not gonna. If you don't understand, you're not gonna know what it means, even though you hear the information.
It's very true.
And it brings me back to Paul on the road to Damascus, right? When he was dealing with Christ, like they didn't hear Christ, right? They heard other stuff, right? So, hey,
okay.
And that's a note to self, right? If you heard it and the person next to you did it, you heard that? You heard lightning. Okay. I'm out of here, right?
Okay.
And no, you can't bring that person, right? That's just not how it's going to go down, right? So let's keep going.
Right. So verse 7, saying with a loud voice, fear Ahiah and give glory to him. For the hour of judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters.
You better worship him now, because the wrath is about to come, right? Continue.
And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
So what came first, right? That angel who had the power to preach the gospel, right? Give him glory, worship him, right? Judgment is coming. The next angel came and said, Babylon is fallen. It's fallen. That great city, right? It is over, right? Keep going.
And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
So let's say that this is literal, like how this actually happened. So now you got another third angel saying, listen, with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark, right? Another warning, right? Now mankind is still going to do it, right? Let's keep going.
Verse 11, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name.
So not only are you destroyed, right? with fire and brimstone, right? Now you in the afterlife, it's over, right? You go to a special place where in the presence of the Lamb, right? You are just burning with fire and brimstone, right? Lake of fire, right? Continue.
Just a disclosure, please don't think that
Right.
the mark of the beast is an image of Cesar Borgia. I'm seeing camps,
Really?
teach
Oh,
that
wow.
Cesar Borgia, the image of him is
Wow.
the image of the beast.
Wow.
And I just don't want anybody to fall.
Yeah.
Anybody else heard that? Anybody? seen
They'll
that?
be the
No?
first
It
ones
says
with the
Cesar
chip.
Borgia is the image of the beast. So if that's all we have to avoid, we're doing good.
Yeah.
Because we already know that.
Right. Lord have mercy.
But that's
How
a
can that
doctrine.
keep you from buying and selling?
The picture, you have a picture that says Borgia at the register.
Lord have mercy.
I don't know.
Lord have
I don't
mercy.
know, but I've seen it.
That's insane.
Going real quick. The image, when you see that, the image of the beast is the actions of worship. So you're going to resemble what all that entails.
Right.
So, because it's saying that the context of it is those that worship him, right? The number of his name, right? All of that, you're going to represent what Babylon is portraying. So if your actions are going to show Babylon versus what the Most High is set up.
Listen, and there's no repentance for taking the mark of the beast. So if you don't recognize the mark for being an etching in the skin, right, which will be the technology that connects you to everything, if you don't recognize it, you're more than likely going to take it. Yeah. Right?
Maybe it's a tattoo of Cesar Borgia.
Maybe, right? And those are going to be the people who are going to be augmented, right? That you won't be able to compete with to get a job, right? They're going to be like, listen, construction, I'm working 24 hours straight, right? I got unlimited power to do this work, right? You can't compete with me, right? They're going to be doing great, wondrous things, right? Lord have mercy. Let's keep going.
Verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints.
Yes.
Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yeshua.
And the faith of Christ, right? So following the Most High is you can't just keep the commandments and have no faith. And you can't have faith without keeping the commandments, right? It's binary. You have to do both, right? That's the condition to be a saint, right? Let's keep going.
Verse 13. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth.
So henceforth is
forward.
once that mark of the beast comes on the scene, if you are in Christ, right? More blessed. It says, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. So there is a special blessing for you. So while you reject that mark, right? And judgment is about to come, you're going to be rewarded for that. You may end up being delivered up because you rejected the mark. That's okay. More blessed will you be, right? He didn't say, blessed are those that die before. He said, henceforth, afterwards, blessed, right? Keep going.
Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them.
They have works, and they will rest from their labors.
Get to it.
Right? So the thing is, what an opportunity we all have. If we are living at this time and we see the mark of the beast unfold and come before us, right? What is this blessing here that will be within our midst, right? Seeing the mark unfold. That's how we need to think. Don't let anything turn you away from getting this blessing. That's why Christ said, those who seek to save their life will surely lose it, right? But those who lose their life will certainly gain, right? So at this moment, it is about dying in Christ. That's it, right? No matter how bleak your circumstances may look. That person that left the church that hates your guts, right? They can be standing before you and it look like they got the victory. Yeah, lock them up. Get rid of them. right? You let Christ speak for you, right? You'll see them on the way back. They won't be happy to see you either, right? That's how you have to think. It's the hope of this kingdom that's to really carry you forward to endure all these things that are to come, right? Let's keep going.
Verse 14, and I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle.
Right, so he sees Christ in a cloud, right, with a crown on his head, right? And he has a sickle in his hand, right? What is he doing with the sickle? Keep going.
And another angel came out of the temple crying with a loud voice.
So there's a temple in heaven. Do you understand that? Right? Go ahead.
To him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap. For the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe.
So now Christ is reaping all those in him. All those in him. You blessed are the dead henceforth. Oh, you gave it up for me? I'm reaping you. You coming up here with me. You're going to rest, right? You coming back with vengeance with me, right? Keep going.
Verse 16, and he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped.
Right, so it's like that's amazing, right? Like,
it must be huge.
Yeah, it must be huge, right? This is what John is seeing, right? Continue.
And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle.
Right, so now there's another angel that comes out of the temple, and he has a sickle also, right? Continue.
And another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the cluster of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe.
Go ahead.
Verse 19, and the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of the Most High.
So who did this angel gather? All the wicked, right? All the wicked, right? Remember, it would be two in the bed, one would be taken, the other, right? More blessed are those who are left behind, right? Those who are taken, we know that's going to be a feast for the fowls of the air, right? As they all gather together, right? Go ahead.
Verse 20, and the winepress was trodden without the city, and the blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs.
Let's go to Revelation chapter 18.
The next precept reference is the book of Revelation chapter 18, verse 1. Starting at verse 1. Almost done. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit.
So you see, Revelations 18 takes us back to Revelations 14, but now it's going to give us more detail as to what that angel is going to do. So how this is happening, this is why when you read Revelations, it's not all in sequential order, right? It can take you forward, but it's really referring to something that we read already, right? In more detail. So let's keep going.
And is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Right.
Everyone got rich off of America. Right? Everyone got rich off of this country, except us. Right? Those who really made it up there in terms of wealth, they had to join that priesthood. You see them walking around in all black all the time, right?
It's a priesthood.
Right? Down in the priesthood. The relics of the priesthood, right? Let's keep going.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
Right, so when the plagues come, that's when the vials are open. There's 7 vials, right? Angel says, listen, come out of her. Be not a partaker of her sins, right? Go ahead.
For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities.
He remembered. He said, yeah, that place Babylon is still standing. All right, time to judge it, right? Go ahead.
Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. And the cup which hath filled to her double, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously.
Right, lived deliciously, high on the hill, subdued other nations, extracting their wealth. Right? Go ahead.
So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow.
This is what she thinks.
No humility, no pride.
And you got to think about this. This country lives and dies with its military, right? No, the world wouldn't even care about the dollar if it didn't have the military backing it, right? That's what they're afraid of, right? Keep going.
This mindset only leads to punishment.
Only punishment.
As I mentioned, is no humility, and it's just pride. Saying pretty much you can't do nothing to me.
He said, I'm not a widow. I sit as a queen, right? Go ahead.
Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day.
One day.
Death and mourning and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her.
So one day. Right? One day. That's all it's going to take. Right? So we got to think about these things that we, are so invested in. Right? It's one point. It's going to become a point in time where it's going to be the dust in the ground, right? It's going to be never to be seen again or heard of again. Like the smoke of this place will go up to heaven and it's over, right? We focus on the Most High in Christ and continue to labor amongst each other to bring forth this kingdom. We'll be fine, right? We'll be a part of that reaping that Christ is doing from the heavens. Gathering the elect to the elect, right? Keep going.
And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
In 1 hour.
Quick.
Judgment has come, right?
I think it's so quick, right? Because the Most High already compiled all of his evidence. That's like they say with the feds. When the FBI come lock you up, they've been investigating you for years. And when they come, you're in the corner. It's over. So the Most High, it ain't got to take all day because he already got the inventory of the sin. It's done. It's done already.
he got everything he need, right? To commit this place to fire, right? Which is basically how it's going to go, right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 91.
Final precept is the book of Psalms chapter 91, verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His trust shall be thy shield and buckler. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
So do we have anything to be afraid of? Can we read the judgment of this place and not have one concern in the world? Because as long as we are fulfilling the will of the Most High, we have nothing to be concerned about. Even if it costs us our life, right? Keep going.
Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh to thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation.
And you know that I think the Most High, he understands the value of seeing your enemies destroyed. That's why he's offering this to you. He's like, listen, don't you want to see them destroyed? Just follow me. I got you. You can sit there and just watch it like a movie. Like, man, they hated this walk, right? So he said, only your eyes will behold and see the reward of the wicked, right? Now, if you're sitting there like, man, well, I did like that person, right? If they're in that destruction, it's because they deserve to be there. No, that's all it is to it, right? Keep going.
The Most High told us in the scripture to prove all things, right?
Yes.
So I feel like when he allows you to see that, that's
Right.
him saying, I told you.
Yeah.
Pretty much. See, here's your proof. Because even when you look at Abraham's bosom, on one side is torment and fire and hell and thirst and sweat and heat. And on the other side, they chilling. But I could see you.
Right. Right.
And be glad that I'm not where you at right now. So
Right.
I could see your fall and look around and see my reward. So the Most High, that's righteous. That's a righteous judge. Like, this is your reward. That's the punishment. You chose wisely, or you chose the wrong side.
Exactly. And how thankful will you be knowing that you followed Christ to a T?
Yes.
You turned the other cheek when normally you wouldn't have done that. But you did it for Christ because he said to do it, right? You went to your butt. You did Matthew 18. You did all these things because Christ said do it, right? And to see that payoff, that's what we should be desiring, right?
Praises.
And as Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, he said, nothing done in, paraphrasing, nothing done in the Lord is done in vain. You know what I'm saying? So even if, you know, there's a scripture in Luke, if I even find it, it may be chapter 6, which basically is like laugh now, cry later.
Yeah.
You may be, you know, the butt of everyone's jokes because you're following Christ, right? Because you're on this walk and on this path, right? But that's okay. Let's finish that.
Psalms 91 and 10. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. That's it.
I'm going to read this Luke chapter 6, verse 25. It says, woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep. All right? So let's read the final edification.
Commentary reads, have faith and understand the fathers protects those that love him. Finish the course and don't look back to your former life. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. That concludes the lesson.